interrogate where the value and incentives flow in the partnership to make sure it's a win-win-win situation. My name is Melvin Lubega, co-founder of GoOne, an Endeavour entrepreneur selected in 2017 in Malaysia. Our business, GoOne, helps organizations unlock a positive potential through a love for learning and through our solution, which is essentially a Spotify for professional learning. And we're proud to say that every 1.3 seconds, somewhere in the world, someone completes a course on our system, but more importantly, that we upskill over 5 million people at any one point in time. So what we do at GoOne is go find the best content from the best content providers around the world and bring their content into one library or subscription. So a la Spotify. So with nearly 100,000 courses, videos, podcasts, ebooks into one subscription, then offer that to organizations and governments so they can upskill their staff. At GoOne, partnerships are integral parts of our business, both on a supply side, so in terms of our content providers, but also from the demand side in terms of our actual distribution partners help us get to market and access a greater customer base. But some of the key insights for us have been realizing that not all partnerships are created equal. So it's easy to think that someone has a large client base and therefore they'd be a good partner for you to access that base. But one partner or one organization has a different ear in an organization. So for example, because I have an old car, I may see my mechanic every week and I may see my dentist once a year. But I won't necessarily go to my mechanic to get my teeth sorted out. And so it's important to realize who you're going to for what. And so what we realized in our journey was the best partners are those who are speaking to the same stakeholders we'd be speaking to anyway, but having a different conversation. And so in our space, it was about, the L&D managers, the HR managers, sometimes the CFOs of an organization. And that alignment of value and value proposition is so important. So if you think about it in our world, what we sell is a content library. So you can think of us like selling books. And so our natural allies are those selling bookshelves. Think of it like learning management platforms, HR systems, and HR consultants. And so that alignment was so important for us as a takeaway. So making sure, one, you have the right partners is a big starting point. But in the same vein, also make sure that your business is right for partnerships. I think in any business, one would want to consider partners as a way of getting to market quicker. And you're like, look, I've got a sales team, I've got a partner who's got 10,000 more customers, let me go through them. But if you don't fully understand your own sales motion, one of the early incubators we're part of, I remember we were once told that until you get to $10 million in revenue, you shouldn't necessarily have a partnership. I think that's a very long way to go. I think you can have a very meaningful partnership earlier, but it speaks to the point around partnerships is about an organizational maturity issue more than it is about access to market issue, particularly for distribution partnerships, which I'm speaking to more directly today. And over and above, let's say, your organization being right, it being the right partner, it's then saying, how important are you to that partner? So for example, if I think about some of the partnerships we've had in the past, it's easy to say, look, because you're in education and you have African roots, we'll give you a CSR budget. But the best partnerships are one where you're meaningful to their core business. And so often it's important to interrogate, where are the funds that are funding your partnership coming from? Is it CSR? Is it their OPEX? Is it their CAPEX? Because that will give you a true sense of also how important is this relationship for you and for them. Because often you may take for granted the fact that, yes, they're giving you time, but they're really investing in this relationship alongside of you. And this brings me to the final point when it comes to investing. So let's say you've secured an awesome partnership with a large enterprise and a new customer base that you've been looking to access, and you say, fine, for the privilege, we will give you, let's say, 30% of the actual revenue that you generate from this particular partnership. And you get very excited, you've signed the deal, you've negotiated hard, you even got like a post you're gonna put up on your website, say you're partnering with them. But what we had in one of our earlier partnerships was realizing and not asking the question, who is the person who's actually going to be selling and representing our product? So for example, is the salesperson in that particular, let's say, value chain, what percent of that 30 are they getting? Because if I give 30% to the company, but the salesperson's commission doesn't change for selling our product, then why would they be incentivized to sell my product over another product? And so making sure that alignment carries through not only from the organization, but through to the call face and the sales representative is so important, and something which we often took for granted until we actually asked the hard question. And look, don't be afraid to in a contract, put there, X amount of this will go towards the front sales or whoever it may be in that particular organization. And then obviously investing even in the same vein in marketing and building it out. And so I guess to bring it together, I think importantly, one, make sure you're ready for a partnership as an organization, you're mature for that. Two, it's about getting the right partner who's aligned to your success and their success. And three, interrogate where the value and incentives flow in the partnership to make sure it's a win-win-win situation.